Hello, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Boundary, your daily show on TOI Sports, where we discuss cricket and, more importantly, Indian cricket right here. And as always, I have a power pack panel to talk about everything. With me on the show today is a very senior person, Avijit Ghosh, who joins us from New Delhi. Then we've got Manuja Veerappa joining us from Bengaluru. And finally, we have Gaurav Gupta joining us from a very well lit TOI office in Mumbai. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. As always, we have a power packed show, and we'll start off first up with a bit of talk about Ranji Trophy because BCCI is focusing on Ranji Trophy. Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and all the big boys in Indian cricket are focusing on Virat Kohli. And we have Gaurav Gupta with us. So we'll start off with that and then move to the one day series and the Champions Trophy. Since Manuja's team, Karnataka, has not made it to the playoffs. So we'll start off with the team that is a regular champion and has known to win titles, Mumbai. And Gaurav Gupta, you have a story that you've done for Times of India. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so basically, Mumbai was supposed to play Haryana and Lali, which wasn't a prospect that Mumbai were really excited about, considering that the firstly the ball moves around a lot in Lali, and it is practically India's Perth with the way it hits the fast bowlers. Now the second part of it is that is obviously not an issue why the match has been moved out. Match has been moved out primarily because the pitch was not ready, is what I'm told for the crucial clash because of the weather conditions, the harsh weather conditions, the winter, the overcast conditions that have been prevalent in Lali for the last few days in Rohtak. So that is why the match referee, the BCI match referee, apparently decided that the match that this pitch was not fit enough to host this match, and then Mr. Abhi Kuruvilla, accordingly, the BCCI General Manager Cricket Operations for Domestic Cricket, accordingly informed both the MCA and the Haryana Cricket Association that please send your teams to Kolkata because we will have this match at the Eden Gardens in Kolkata instead of this thing Haryana. And actually, I was speaking to a few MC officials, and they were quite relieved because Chandesh, last year the Mumbai Under 23 team actually crashed out of the tournament after playing a match at Lali because the match could not be completed. And in such a scenario, in India's domestic cricket, the team which has more number of points in the league stage goes through. So the Mumbai Under 23 team had to pay a heavy price. They crashed out, and Haryana went through. So actually Mumbai were fearing that अगर ऐसा होता है ये match complete नहीं होता है and if it's the first things is also remains incomplete, which does tend to happen in these kind of venues, then Haryana could actually go through. But thankfully that is not the situation, and obviously now guys like Surya Kumar Yadav and Shivam Dubey, who are available for this match, will have the opportunity to play in front of a big stadium, something that they're pretty used to. So I think it's advantage Mumbai, unless of course Anshul Kamboj bowls the spell of his life. So that is where things stand at, and it was a pretty much late night, last minute development, which I luckily happened to report just before the edition went to bed.
Avijit Das, do you think that stars are aligning for Mumbai to be champion once again then?
देखिए अभी दिल्ली दूर है.
दिल्ली तो बहुत दूर है सर.
दिल्ली दूर नहीं है, दिल्ली है ही नहीं.
Not that Virat Kohli's presence helped.
Yeah, but the fact
Kohli's presence helped Delhi. It did not help Virat Kohli.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Manuja, not to rub it in, but do you think that this change is beneficial to a side like Mumbai? Because, like Gaurav said, the fact that the match would have been at Lali, then it would have helped the Haryana seamers because they have a pretty handy seam attack. Do you think that this change will help Mumbai?
I think having watched Haryana play the way they did, there is a certain amount of khadoosness about them is what I've kind of figured, because we're talking about them taking on Mumbai. I feel it's going to be an even contest. When it comes to Lali, I still can't wrap my head around one thing. 2 days, 3 days before a match, how do you decide? The venue is not working, especially a venue like Lali, where everybody knows that winters are always harsh. We've rarely had full matches leading up from say December to mid-Feb. It's taken you all so long to decide that you want to move it. See, you always knew about Jammu Kashmir, so you'd moved that to Pune, right? Uh, but I think I don't know. So from what I've seen of the Haryana team, it's probably the first time I saw this team in red ball cricket with so many of those new boys who've come in. There's so much of hunger in them, and also I think they're also banking on the strength of all-round abilities of players like Nishant Sindhu, and yeah, even contest is what I would like to think. Mumbai, you never know. There are different kind of beasts in knockouts any which ways.
Uh,
Uh, yeah,
I
yeah, Gaurav, you want to say something?
I wanted to chime in. I wanted to ask Manuja what happened to the team which just won the Vijay Hazare Trophy. Looked so impressive. How come they crashed out at this stage? I'm pretty surprised. I thought that this could be Karnataka's year with another
No,
title or at least
Gaurav, but hats off to the team for having been in a tighter knockouts race till the last match. No other team in this championship this season had the misfortune of having two of their first two of the matches rained off. I
no.
don't know last time when the Ranji Trophy, this thing where a team has won one match, innings lead, ticked all the boxes, and yet can't make it to the knockouts. Uh, it was, I think, just weather for them and nothing else because after two matches, two rounds, you have 2 points.
No.
Doesn't
Oh
take you
Lord.
anywhere. So to have even been in the reckoning till the second day of their last league match, I think that was show of character.
Pretty much so.
We'll have a full build up to the Ranji quarterfinals when it starts on 8th Feb. So from about 7th Feb, we'll start off with the build up to that particular contest as well. But slightly moving our attention towards the one day international series, which starts off tomorrow in Nagpur. Just a reminder once again, we'll have a build up to that one day international at about 12:30 p.m. India time, and we'll go on till after the toss at 1 p.m. The match starts at 1:30. So do log on at 12:30 p.m. tomorrow for that particular show. I just want to bring in Avijit Da here. We're talking about the pitch at Lali and the match has been shifted. Now, this particular match, the first one day international at Nagpur, the focus is once again the pitch as well in Nagpur. There's talk of a fresh pitch at the VCA Stadium in Nagpur. Uh, how much of a look ahead is it for you for the Champions Trophy? Should India look that far ahead, or just keep focusing on the match tomorrow? It's a tough balance to keep.
No, in this case, the all the three matches are basically getting your playing 11 right. The form will. We have chosen a very good team for the past. We should have been looking forward for the future, but we have chosen a team for the past. This is a great team. Uh, for 2-3 years ago, we have not gone with the future. And to that extent, why are we playing the Champions Trophy? We basically should be preparing for the World Cup. So, we chosen a team for the World Cup? Which of these players are some of these players who we have in the Champions Trophy team may not last the World Cup. This could have been a very very good tournament for us to try out, to the future, but we haven't done that. What we have done that is we are doing everything on a case to case basis, and that is, I think, part of the problem. But the team is there before us, and let us see on the basis. This team is full of players who are not in the best of forms, and they are also on the wrong side of the 30s. But we are going ahead with that team. So it's a choice of the selectors. I don't see there is a long-term planning in it, whether we win this series or not. The
Yeah, yeah, Manuja and Gaurav both. First, I'll start off with Manuja. It seems like we are talking about the same thing again and again. Form of Rohit and Virat, who will keep the wickets, Rahul or Rishabh, who will be the spinner, who will be the bowling attack. And on top of it, the Indian selectors have added one more spinner in the lineup. So now it feels like we're in 1975, not in 2025. Five spinners in the lineup. Uh,
Yeah,
so are we, like Abhijit Da said, we're just talking about the same thing again and again. I feel like we're just having the same discussion every day.
true. Yeah, because if you look at that lineup, bad enough you had four spinners, then you said Aurek Dalo. There you go. Of course, taking nothing away from Varun Chakravarti, he had a phenomenal T20 series. But what is your lack of confidence in this thing? Unless and until you're saying, okay, Kuldeep, has had injury concerns, but you still have Aksar, you have Washi, and then you have Jadeja. I mean, if anything, I would have said add a couple of, you could have added a pacer because Shami looks very iffy. Uh, Ashdeep. So the whole this thing, like Abhijit was saying, uh, this is not your team for the future. So this is just these three matches are your dress rehearsal for Champions Trophy, where results kind of become kind of other footnote where you try your combinations, see how things go. But then again, it's a different country, different conditions that we're going to play Champions Trophy in. So by keeping the same tried and tested this thing, what are you trying to do?
So, Gigi, carrying on from what Manuja and Abhijit Da said, there was a report in today's Times of India about the selectors and the BCCI having a chat with Rohit saying, please give us a plan for yourself after the Champions Trophy. What's happening? It seems like it's a never-ending saga in Indian cricket right now. These last few months, the same things are being discussed every day. When is it going to be like a full stop to this all this talk?
Chandesh, that full stop should have come just after the New Zealand series when they, had the little time and the build up to the first test of, in Australia. When that discussion should have happened, चीज से तो वहाँ पांचों टेस्ट मैच के टाइम थे यार, तब भी ये डिस्कशन नहीं हुआ. आई एम सरप्राइज अब जाके डिस्कशन अगर हुआ है तो हो रहा है. और वो रिपोर्ट हो रहा है कि सब चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी के लिए बैठे तब ये 2.5 घंटा जब इन्होंने हमारे को वेट करवाया तब ये बातचीत चल रही थी कि आप अपना प्लान बताओ, आपका फ्यूचर प्लान क्या है. Or so on and so forth. That plan should have been discussed with him right after the last test or before the Australia series or somewhere during the Australia series, especially after he opted out of the final test match. And then suddenly now to have this discussion with him ki future plan batao. I don't know if it is true or not. If this is true, then it is very weird, this whole sequence of, and it reflects very poorly on the chief selector Gautam Gambhir and the Ajit Agarkar and the head coach Gautam Gambhir, that they have just not been able to help the situation. In fact, as Jimmy Paji Mandamanat sir, India's 1983 World Cup hero, very rightly said, the selectors have completely failed to show guts, in tackling these top stars, and that is why Indian cricket has become a joke of late. And वो joke और ज़्यादा बढ़ता रहा, the way the youngsters are playing, the way Abhishek Sharma smashed that breathtaking 100 in the final T20I at Wankhede, that showed that the future is here. तो आप क्यों फिर उसको delay करे जा रहे हो future को, present नहीं बना रहे हो, and you're sort of again going back to the same discussions, same personnel who are not even able to find form in the Ranji Trophy. Give them a break, yeah. Give them, if they're not able to decide on the future, you take a call. I very well remember doing a story during just after India crashed out in the 2019 World Cup. That MSK Prasad and company had a serious word with MS Dhoni, and they told him very clearly that look, we're now going to blood Rishabh Pant from here. We're not going to groom him for the next World Cup, and so on and so forth. तो अगर आपको international retirement ले लिया आप ले लो, नहीं तो please आप मतलब Indian team we don't sort of see you. We're going to groom somebody for the future. And that is how it panned out. So the previous selection committees have shown the guts. This selection committee has done well to sideline a few players and not done well to sideline a few players. But ये star power के आगे ये लोग क्यों इतना झुक रहे हैं मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा है. क्या scene है मतलब this whole thing doesn't add up. But I hope if the discussion has happened, it should be that you play this Champions Trophy with Rohit, and then if you do not succeed, then that's it. When it comes to an international career, really, I would go on to say that with Virat also that discussion should have happened. Why not? Virat has also had an extended run of failures. Why just Rohit? I mean, no doubt Rohit का form fitness दोनों ही नहीं है, विराट का form नहीं है, but वो form में एक prolonged 5 साल का period का result है. So I don't know. I mean, the whole issue has been dragged for far too long, and the decision makers and the BCCI. I would also blame the BCCI bosses. When big retirements happen or they are made to happen, the BCCI bosses also play a big role. We all know how the great legendary Sachin Tendulkar's retirement, behind that was also a sort of a assurance by the big boss in the BCCI that he'll be given a respectful retirement, and the situation will not be allowed to go out of hand. And at the same time, it will be conveyed to the superstar, that boss, this is enough. You've had your share of international cricket. So it's an all-round take.
Avijit, just building on that, should it be format specific phasing out, or should it be complete phasing out? What's your take on this?
ये तो सेलेक्टर्स का कॉल है, एंड अगेन एज गौरव सेड, सेलेक्टर्स आर नॉट टेकिंग द कॉल. मुझे अब लगता है, पहले मैं सोच रहा था कि बीसीसीआई और सेलेक्टर्स मिलके प्लेयर्स के खिलाफ कॉल लेंगे. नाउ आई फील दैट प्लेयर्स, बीसीसीआई एंड सेलेक्टर्स, तीनों एक ही थाली के चट्टे बट्टे हैं. दे आर ये मिलके ऑडियंस, जो जनता है, बेवकूफ बना रहे हैं. इसी ये कौन सी बात हो गई कि आप बोल रहे हो कि इतने दिनों के बाद कि व्हाट आर योर प्लान्स? भाई आप यू टेक द कॉल. आप प्लेयर से क्यों पूछ रहे हो? प्लेयर को अगर लेना होता तो वो ले लिया होता अभी तक. और आप ये देखिए, ऑस्ट्रेलिया का टूर आप देख लो, डिफिकल्ट टूर था. हु वाज वन ऑफ आवर मोस्ट सक्सेसफुल बैट्समैन? हाँ, यशस्वी जायसवाल. 3 बड़े इनिंग्स खेले उसने, लेकिन यशस्वी जायसवाल जो है T20 टीम में वो है ही नहीं. ओडीआई टीम में अभी वो है, लेकिन शायद उसे खेलने का मौका ना मिले. सो बेसिकली यू आर प्रोक्रेस्टिनेटिंग द फ्यूचर. जो प्लेयर्स इन फॉर्म है, जो यंग है, वो हंग्री टू परफॉर्म, दे आर आइदर नॉट इन द टीम और इन द रिजर्व्स. और आप पुराने लोग जो जिनके लिए क्रिकेट आधा क्रिकेट है और आधा बिजनेस है, वो आप उनको आप खिलाते जा रहे हो. तो यही समस्या है, और इसका निदान कैसे होगा ये तो हम देख नहीं सकते. बट ये कल वाली मैच जैसे है उसी की बात करते हैं फिर.
नहीं, कल वाली मैच में अभिजीत दा, जस्ट वांट टू नो बिफोर आई गो बैक टू मनुजा एंड गौरव, कल वाली मैच में जैसे आपने कहा कि देयर इज नो गारंटी दैट यशस्वी विल ओपन द बैटिंग despite him being India's form player in recent times across formats. He hasn't still played a one-day international. Matlab, that's a ninth wonder of the world, if I were to say that. And we are basically going to more or less have the same lineup that played the 2023 ODI World Cup. Like you said, we are still 2 years back, but we have chosen a team for something that happened 2 years ago rather than for the present. So what are we going to really gain from this series in your view, Abhijit da?
इसमें बेसिकली what has happened is हमने फ्यूचर को डाल दिया है. हम ओडीआई मैचेस खेल रहे हैं चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी के लिए, और मोर और लेस एक उसका प्रैक्टिस मैचेस है ये. हमारी यही टीम चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी खेलेगी. मुझे लगता है चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी को हम एक्सक्यूज बनाएंगे टू कंटिन्यू द करियर्स ऑफ दोज हुज करियर वी वांट टू कंटिन्यू. बाय दैट आई मीन द बीसीसीआई एंड द सेलेक्टर्स. अगर वो सक्सेसफुल हो जाते हैं तो और फर्दर कंटिन्यू होगा. वो हिंदुस्तान के लिए भला होगा कि नहीं होगा, बट वो प्लेयर्स के लिए तो जरूर भला होगा उससे. तो आप ये एज यू सेड ना, ये 2023 के वर्ल्ड कप फाइनल है, और मोर और लेस विद द एक्सेप्शन वही टीम खेलेगी हमारी. अगर वरुण खेलता है तो वो एटलीस्ट इट विल बी अ न्यू फाइटर जो हम देखेंगे. और उसके अलावा तो वही सारे लोग हैं.
Manuja, are we getting mixed signals from the team management and selectors? 5 spinners in the lineup. Do they know something about the conditions in Dubai that none of us know about? Are they in touch with the curator? What is it? What is happening? I'm unable to understand.
See, I mean, it's really very confusing, like I said, because you're virtually going with 2.5 pacers. I mean, Shami has really failed to impress in. He played 3 matches in the T20 series.
Yeah, he played 2 matches.
2 matches.
Yeah.
No great show there. You have Arshdeep, Hardik again. Yes, I mean he's your bowling all-rounder. But if you're going with 5 spinners, okay, we also have Harshit Rana. But 5 spinners looks like, okay, like you said, something that nobody else knows. And again, going back to what Abhijit was saying, you have amongst those 5 spinners, you have a Kuldeep, you have a Jadeja. I mean, if you're going to keep if you want to try Varun Chakravarti out, but you're going to keep him in the team and then play, those you want to phase out, then this is an entirely pointless exercise to be doing.
Building on that, Gaurav, so now will we have more changes, more back spasm, forced changes in the final 15 of India's squad for Champions Trophy like we've had in the previous couple of ICC events where someone has developed back spasm, someone has developed some other injury. 2023 World Cup, we had Akshar Patel going out with an injury and Ashwin coming in. So are we going to have something similar this time before 12th? Then while we are naming the squad, why not say it's a provisional squad? Why omit that word provisional when you're naming the squad for Champions Trophy and hold off the press conference till February 12th then? Why do it
That's what
1 month?
Australia did. They
Yeah,
called
that's
their
what
team the preliminary squad. I don't
squad.
think they called it the squad at all.
Yeah. Why is India not being able to do that?
सर यहाँ पर सितांशु कोटक का अभी तक बैटिंग कोच बनने इंडियन टीम के वही प्रेस रिलीज नहीं आया है। वो अभी तक वो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए भी आगे अभी तक रिलीज नहीं आया है। यहाँ पर
अरे
तो बहुत कुछ ऐसा होता है जिसका रिलीज कभी आता ही नहीं है, पता ही नहीं चलता है।
गौरव, इसीलिए तो टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया में हम लोग एक जमाने में क्लूज फ्रॉम द नेट्स करते थे. That's how you come to know that Sitanshu Kotak has joined, and that's how you know that Varun Chakravarti has joined the squad. Go on.
Yeah, Varun Chakravarti, people came to know when they saw him bowl in the nets yesterday, I believe, and then I think one of the journalists tweeted about it, and then Shubman Gill came in the press conference and said that yes, he's there. उसके बाद जाके रिलीज आई है, because रिलीज में obviously officials के कोड्स लगते हैं, ये होता है वो होता है, बहुत कुछ सारी चीजें हैं. So anyways, खैर as you once said, अगर ये सारी रिलीजेस भी आ जाएगा सब कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन, तो हम जर्नलिस्ट क्या करेंगे, हमारा क्या काम रहेगा. So that is also true. हमको ब्रेकिंग स्टोरीज कहाँ से मिलेंगी, बट the fact of the matter is that there will be a few changes to this squad. Obviously Jasprit Bumrah is not going to be a part of the Champions Trophy. He was never going to be. I was very clearly told that he's going to be out of action for a few months for sure, which includes the Champions Trophy. And I think Mohammad Siraj आने वाले हैं, मुझे लगता है उनकी जगह. I don't think Harshit Rana will be a part of the 14-15 that will be there for the Champions Trophy. I think Kuldeep Yadav is definitely has again redeveloped some niggle. He bowled around 31 overs, I think, in a Ranji Trophy match, और I think वहां से उनको शायद कुछ resurface हुआ होगा पेन. तो I think उनकी जगह वरुण आएंगे, definitely वरुण आएंगे. मतलब वरुण I think is obviously being played here, so he will be played here so that he is in in fray for Champions Trophy. Because again I was told that the form that he is in, 14 wickets in 5 matches against England, and nobody could pick him the way he's bowling right now. I actually predict a great haul for him against Pakistan, who are very vulnerable to mystery spinners and who are very unpredictable. Although I do remember that it was Pakistan only who hammered him out of the team. The last time poor guy played in 21 in the T20 World Cup, 4 over में शायद उनको 35 runs पड़ गए थे. With Babar Azam and the other opener playing well, Rizwan playing well. But I think Dubai will see a great comeback of Varun Chakravarti, the same soil where he lost his place in the Indian team. By and large, and I think थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ हुआ है with Akshar and Jadeja both being there. I'm not too comfortable with that. I think either of them should have been there, but I think Jadeja, sort of the sector still tend to stick to him because of his fielding, fielding ability and batting ability. So that's there. Baki to I think the squad should remain the same. I mean, they don't have an option but to include Shami and hope that he comes back to his best. I agree with Manuja. He looks very fidgety right now, very iffy, certainly not back at his best. Perhaps, and in this form, in fact, if this is his best now, then this is surely a cause of worry going forward in the future, especially for test matches. But yeah, I mean, this is more or less a couple of changes in and there, and this is going to be our squad. We are banking on Spain in Dubai.
So, despite all these problems that India is having, I'm reminded Abhijit Da of a dialogue from Three Idiots की अपने फेल होने से ज्यादा दुख नहीं होता, कोई और फर्स्ट आ गया तो हमें दुख होता है. तो यहाँ पर ऑस्ट्रेलिया के लिए हमेशा जो उनके फर्स्ट आते हैं उनके कप्तान पैट कमिंस. There's a now talk that Pat Cummins may not be fit for Champions Trophy. So that's only silver lining in the entire day for us right now, that Pat Cummins won't be there because he's had a major impact on Australia as a leader and as a bowler.
वो ठीक है, वो हमारा है. सी ऑस्ट्रेलिया जो प्लेयर अनफिट है ना उसके बारे में सोचता ही नहीं है, वो ऑल्टरनेटिव्स के बारे में सोचता है. दे ओनली थिंक व्हाट दे हैव ऑन द टेबल. हम इसी तरह से खुश हो रहे थे जब जॉश हेजलवुड इंजर्ड हो गए थे, वो बोलंड भाई साहब आए तो वो जॉश हेजलवुड से भी ज्यादा अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहे. सो दैट इज व्हाई ऑस्ट्रेलिया इज ऑस्ट्रेलिया एंड इंडिया इज इंडिया. वो दे ऑलवेज रिजर्व देयर बेस्ट फॉर डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशंस, फॉर बिग गेम्स. हाँ, हमारा वी रिजर्व आवर बेस्ट फॉर बायलैटरल टूर्नामेंट्स, और फिर वो जो है ना वो बाकी सिचुएशंस में हमारे हाथ पांव फूल जाते हैं. ये जो टीम है इसमें हमारे बैट्समैन जो है ना, मेनी ऑफ आवर बैट्समैन आप चेक करना, their bests have come in bilateral tournaments. When it has come to key matches, and I'm not key matches of major tournaments, knockout matches of tournaments, वो आप मिडिल ऑर्डर में देखना किस लोगों ने परफॉर्म किया है. One of the reasons why हम हमेशा सेमीफाइनल में हारते हैं, फाइनल में हार जाते हैं, is because नॉकआउट वाले जो मैचेस होते हैं, बड़े मैचेस जो होते हैं, इसमें ये प्लेयर्स नहीं देखते हैं. हमारे ये सिलेक्शन का ये भी प्रॉब्लम है ना कि जो हम प्लेयर्स रन्स देखते हैं, एवरेज देखते हैं, स्ट्राइक रेट्स देखते हैं, बट टेम्परामेंट नहीं देखते. वो जो एक होता है ना, व्हेन द गोइंग गेट्स टफ, द टफ गेट्स गोइंग, ये चीज जो है हम लोग नहीं देखते हैं. हम लोग डिस्कस करते हैं कि क्लास प्लेयर्स और नॉन क्लास प्लेयर्स. ऑस्ट्रेलिया जो है वो बात करती है टफ प्लेयर्स एंड सॉफ्ट प्लेयर्स. तो वो ऐसे प्लेयर्स को देखते हैं कि जो मतलब जो मजबूत, जो डिफिकल्ट मैचेस है वो कैसा खेलेगा. एंड हैविंग सेड दैट, मेरे पास ये किताब है, ये पैट कमिंस की नई किताब आई है, मैं इसको पढ़ने की कोशिश कर रहा था. इट्स कॉल्ड टेस्टेड. तो इसके बारे में मैं थोड़ा सा हल्का सा बताऊं कि ये किताब जो है उनकी ऑटोबायोग्राफी नहीं है, ये उनके कॉन्वर्सेशंस हैं विद अदर पीपल. एंड फ्रॉम अ क्रिकेट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू सिर्फ एक कॉन्वर्सेशन इंटरेस्टिंग है जो डेनिस लीली के साथ है. सो चूंकि वो खेल नहीं रहे थे तो ये मेरे ख्याल से किताब लिख रहे थे, आप कह लीजिए. सो दैट इज व्हाट ही वाज डूइंग.
अभिजीता वो ना सिर्फ किताब लिख रहे थे, वो एक एड में भी आ रहे थे जो एक OTT प्लेटफॉर्म ने रिलीज किया जो ब्रॉडकास्ट करने वाले चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी. एक सीरीज ऑफ एड्स है, बहुत मैं आज देख रहा था, यूट्यूब पे ही था, तो वो भी कर रहे थे साथ ही साथ. वो तो बहुत बिजी थे अपार्ट फ्रॉम ट्रबलिंग इंडिया राइट थ्रू द सीजन इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया. Manuja, how do you look at the fact that Pat Cummins will not be around, may not be around, Josh Hazelwood won't be around, and Australia will still be very strong, whether it is Smith or Travis?
See, I think in terms of leadership, they won't struggle. Head or Smith, you have proven leaders in them, and I think in Australia it's about leadership and not about that much about man management. So in terms of leadership, I don't think that that's going to be so difficult, because the superstar factor in their team is, I think, nothing to compare to our culture. But you also have, this one was Abhijit was saying, just when you think this one is gone, you have another firebomb waiting to explode onto the international scene there. I mean, they have Abbott, they have Bartlett, Xavier Bartlett. So I think in terms of, I'm actually very excited to see an Australian team without Hazelwood, without Cummins. I just feel that, every time one of their senior stars are out, you have so many of them who put their hand up to be counted. And all of them, have shown the glimpses of this thing in BBL. So for them to do it again on the international stage, I think it's going to be good. I mean, of course, Cummins, I would have loved to see him play, but yeah, it is what it is.
चंद्रेश, बस एक छोटी सी और बात कहना चाहूंगा कि आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया का फॉर्म देख ले, कमिंग इनटू द 2023 वर्ल्ड कप, वो मैचेस हार रहे थे लगातार. हमने भी उनको पहला मैच हराया, उसके बाद उनका धीरे धीरे गेम इंप्रूव होता गया और उनका पीक जो था वो फाइनल में था. तो ये डेफिनेटली एक बहुत स्ट्रांग टीम है, ये उनका फेवरेट फॉर्मेट है. सो दे विल बी अ फोर्स टू रेकन विद और विद कमिंस.
चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी की बातें कर रहे हैं तो हमारे दोस्त गौरव गुप्ता आज बहुत फॉर्म में थे, बहुत काम किया उन्होंने आज, इसलिए अब आराम फरमा रहे हमारे साथ शो में. तो आज उन्होंने और एक स्टोरी किया अबाउट नितिन मेनन एंड जवागल श्रीनाथ. क्या कर दिया आपने गौरव, आपने उन दोनों को जाने से मना कर दिया?
मैंने नहीं, इन्होंने खुद ही मना कर दिया. और श्रीनाथ से मेरी बात हुई, श्रीनाथ तो जो बोल रहे हैं वो मैंने मना नहीं किया. वो कह रहे हैं कि मुझे याद आ गया कि मुझे ब्रेक चाहिए, मैं नवंबर से ऑन द रोड हूँ, तो मुझे ब्रेक चाहिए, मुझे फैमिली के साथ टाइम स्पेंड करने का मौका नहीं मिला, आज मुझे फाइनली वो मौका मिल रहा है। तो मैंने कहा अच्छा है साहब, आपको सही टाइम याद आया ब्रेक का, तो वो तो ब्रेक ले रहे हैं। एंड विद नितिन मेनन इट्स वेरी क्लियर दैट ही रिफ्यूज्ड टू गो टू ट्रैवल टू पाकिस्तान बेसिकली। सो आई मीन ये दोनों नहीं होंगे, और ऑब्वियसली इंडियंस कोई भी वहां पर नहीं है, इंडियन टीम नहीं है, रोहित शर्मा नहीं है, वो तो हुआ ही नहीं खैर प्री प्री टूर्नामेंट, जो कि 100% होता मेरे हिसाब से। Because the story that I had done, I was very clearly told that the ICC was told by the BCCI, या तो आप दुबई में कर लो प्री टूर्नामेंट प्रेशर ऑफ ऑल द 8 कैप्टन्स, और या फिर आप मत वो करो करके, या फिर आप मत करो ये इवेंट। सो आई थिंक द आईसीसी हैज सॉर्ट ऑफ डिसाइडेड टू डन अवे विद दिस, do away with this event, this pre-match pre-tournament presser, which would have been exciting. It happened after before the 23 World Cup in Ahmedabad, जिसके लिए बाबर आजम भी all the way travel करके गए थे वहां पर। I don't think it happened before the 24 T20 World Cup, but then T20 it's a very short window. West Indies, everything was very chaotic. Generally everything is very chaotic with West Indies organizing a tournament there, so on and so forth. But I think Indian participation in that sort of gives you an impression of where India stand lies when it comes to things about Pakistan. They are very clear that Indian citizens should not be going to Pakistan, although I do expect a few media persons could be traveling there to cover the Champions Trophy, the Pakistan leg of the Champions Trophy.
Abhijita, media persons will travel. We will have also people in the production team, the World Feed production team traveling to Pakistan, because no production is complete without an Indian being part of the production. How much long do you see this continuing? मतलब ये जो situation है, Indians not traveling.
नहीं, इसमें हमारी गवर्नमेंट का क्रिकेट को लेके एक पॉलिसी है, बाकी गेम्स को लेके अलग पॉलिसी है। हाँ, आप कुछ दिनों पहले हमारी टेनिस टीम जाके वहां पे खेली थी पाकिस्तान में। हाँ, कुछ महीने पहले की बात है। सो देयर इज नो कंसिस्टेंसी, पर क्रिकेट पे एक फोकस रहता है इस मामले में। और हमारी टीम इसलिए नहीं जा रही है बिकॉज हाई स्पोर्ट ये है, और जो हमारा एक लार्जर पॉलिसी है ऑफ लिटिल इंटरेक्शन विद पाकिस्तान जो हमारी सरकार की है, वो उसी को फॉलो कर रहे हैं। और में ये हो गया कि जवागल श्रीनाथ और नितिन मेनन, इनको भी लगा होगा ना कि अगर वो जाएंगे तो जो लार्जर पॉलिसी है उसके खिलाफ उनका ये स्टेप नजर आएगा। सो इट मस्ट हैव बीन अ सॉर्ट ऑफ अ इनविजिबल प्रेशर दैट दे वुड हैव फेस्ड, व्हिच इज व्हाई किसी को घर का काम याद आएगा, किसी को हो सकता है कुछ और याद आ जाए। हाँ, तो ये संभव है, पर लोगों को कई बार ऐसे बहाने बनाने पड़ते हैं क्योंकि ये उनकी मजबूरी होती है।
Last word, Manuja, with you on this particular issue. Srinath, Nitin Menon not traveling to Champions Trophy. On the one hand, Srinath, I can understand, he's been on the road. Nitin Menon could also turn around and say, I've also been on the road. I've done a few matches here and there, and I need to be prepared for the IPL.
Now, one thing I want to say here is, if you think your 15-member squad, Indian cricket team squad, with its support staff, are not safe enough, or whatever your external ministry, your security protocols, this thing, it has to apply for Nitin Menon and Jawgal Srinath as well. Jawgal Srinath, I'm sure, is more popular in Pakistan than many of the team members of the current Indian team. I mean, taking nothing away from them. Instead of them citing personal reasons, the BCCI had to put their foot down and say the same rules will apply for the match officials as well. I understand, they are empaneled with ICC, but they represent the BCCI even there. One thing. The other thing is, as far as I know, I think Jawgal Srinath had informed ICC well in advance that he's not going to pay. I don't know why it's coming out now, but as far as I know, I think it was last year that he informed them, because I think he spent about 7 or 8 weeks in Africa, October, November, December-ish, where he was in Zimbabwe, he was in West Indies, and that's when he said, I want to, take some time off. So, irrespective of what their reasons is, this thing should have come from BCCI, not from the umpire or the match referee.
True.
I mean, it can't be different thing. They're also a part of Indian cricket.
I agree with her. They have been late to, they have been forced to take a hard decision and make their own call, where it should be a collective call of the BCCI.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Uh, so, final word to a question to all three of you. One word reply. Avijita, starting off with you. The three match series, ODI series. What's going to be the final result?
Manuja first.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay. 2-1.
Who?
In
India or
England's
England?
favor.
England's favor.
England's favor.
Okay, I can spot an anti-national there. Gaurav.
Oh my god.
2-1 in India's favor.
Okay, patriotic.
Yeah.
And finally, final word with Avijita.
Yeah, I think it is it is one it's a non high pressure tournament, which is why we should win it.
Okay, fine. That's a good way of putting it. Thanks a lot, Avijita, Manuja, and Gaurav for joining us today on Beyond the Boundary right here on TOI Sports. To all the viewers, please keep liking, sharing, subscribing, and please press the notification bell on this channel. We'll be back again tomorrow at 12:30, just before toss, right here on TOI Sports with Beyond the Boundary. Join us then for that particular show. Till then, take care of yourself. Goodbye to all three panelists and goodbye to all the viewers. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.